What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over our annual financial goal tracking and net worth update for May 2023, which is the month that we sold our home, and it was really crazy. So let's just jump right into it with the annual financial goal tracking because there is a lot to go over this month. So this is my annual financial goal tracking spreadsheet, and if you like it, you can actually get it in my Etsy shop. I'll link it in the video description. You can also get my net worth spreadsheet in the video description. It's free, but this one you do have to purchase. It is an instant download to Google Sheets, and it comes with a detailed video tutorials to explain how to set it up, and you can get started using it right away. So this is how we track all of our annual financial goals, which I have listed in this column. We are in May, and so let's just get right into it. For May, our total gross income was a lot. We sold our house and I funneled a portion of the money, it was about half of the money, into our budget for that month, and you'll see kind of more of the breakdown in the net worth portion of the video in the second half of the video. But yeah, obviously we didn't like earn paychecks of $98,000. We earned our normal, like I think it was, I don't know, $13,000, $14,000 in gross pay. And the reason I decided to do it this way is because I know this will like throw the numbers off for the end of the year. This won't be a typical year for us, but I just wanted to have good, clear records on where the money from the sale of our home went, and I felt like doing it this way would be the best way to track that when I'm looking back like 5 years from now. So in May, we earned $98,261. So year to date, we're at $153,091. Our goal is $175,000. So obviously, I'm going to have to adjust these goals or something. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. But yeah, we're definitely going to exceed that 175 since we're already at 87% of goal completed and it is only May. Continuing on to investing, my husband's 401k, some stock options, my Roth IRA for 2022 and 2023, and some money for our emergency fund. I actually just added emergency fund this month because we hadn't been planning to put any extra money into our emergency fund. Anyway, so my husband's 401k, we contributed the normal $600, nothing to the stock options. I did max out my 2023 Roth IRA back in March. I maxed out my 2022 with our tax refund, and then from the sale proceeds, I just did one lump sum contribution to my 2023 Roth, maxed that out. That felt really good. And then we put $2,500 to our emergency fund. So $9,600 to investing this month, which feels awesome. So year to date for the 401k, we're at $3,000 on a goal of $7,800. So that's 38% of the way there. And that's on track because it just comes automatically out of my husband's paycheck. And then for stock options, like I said, we didn't do anything. We've put in $200 this year out of the $4,400. So this is going to be the main goal that we're working on for investing for the rest of the year, to try to exercise these stock options. We're only at 5% of the way to our goal right now. For investing for myself, I've invested $9,650 this year on a goal of $7,800. So exceeded that goal by 24%, 124% of goal. So I am done with investing for this year unless I put anything into like my after-tax brokerage account, but done with my Roth IRA this year. And then for emergency fund, like I said, I just added this in this month. So just 100% of goal on that. We're not planning to add anything else to the emergency fund quite yet, although I do want to have a larger emergency fund this time around when we buy a house than we did last time. So we'll talk about that in future videos. So we're at $15,350 year to date on a goal of $22,500. So we are 68% of the way to our investing goal for the year. Next to debt. So we basically took half of the sale proceeds from the sale of our home and put it towards my husband's student loan. Now, we didn't actually click the button officially to make the payment, and it's been a little controversial on my channel that I'm calling ourselves debt-free, even though we haven't actually made that payment. That money is sitting in a student loan savings account, which is a high-yield savings account that I've just like designated as student loan savings. And so it can earn some money because the interest rate we're earning on the cash is higher than the interest rate we're paying on the debt. So at any point, we could go ahead and make that payment, but for right now it's sitting in savings, and the payment each month is just automatically being deducted from that savings account. So this was the amount we needed to be able to cover that loan plus some, because the interest on the savings account is going to accrue faster than the amount due on the student loan. So anyway, $72,550. I still can't even believe it. It feels so good to be done with this debt payoff. We were working on it for 3.5 years, and I'm just so happy to be be here. And, you know, we sold our house, we're renting. Obviously, like that's a big decision and a sacrifice that we've made as part of our debt-free journey, but I think well worth it. And I'm just ready to be done with the debt payoff phase of life and move on to just accumulating wealth. So super happy. For the year, we're at $77,090. I had originally set a goal of $20,000. Obviously, we blew that out of the water. That debt is now paid off. 385% of goal. So last time we'll be hopefully having a debt goal on our spreadsheet here, unless we buy another house in the future and we try to pay off the mortgage early or something like that. But for the foreseeable future, this is the last time we'll have any money going to this debt section on the spreadsheet. Certainly for 2023. All right, so for May, we had expenses of $13,629 and taxes of $2,482. So total expenses was $16,000. We're at $60,651 for the year on a goal of $135,000. So we're 45% of the way there. We are just under halfway through the year, so we're pretty much on track for this. So that's good. We are doing pretty well with our expenses and hope to continue doing that way now that we definitely won't have any extraneous home repair expenses come up. So that's awesome. In May, these percentages were amazing. I wish every month could look like this, but sadly it cannot. Percent to financial goals was 84%. I try to keep this at least at 20 to 25% or more if possible, but in the 20 to 25% range. Percent to expenses was 16, and we try to keep this at 75 to 80% or less. So obviously, again, this month throws the numbers off. I'm going to have to reconfigure it a bit. So for the year, we're at 60% to investing and 40% to expenses. All right, let's move over to the net worth spreadsheet. So I have been going back and forth on how to handle this because I was deciding how much I was going to share, and I decided just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to share with you guys like how much cash we got from the sale. And then also I was debating whether to just zero out the student loan as a liability or whether to keep it on the spreadsheet. So let me back up for a second. Net worth, in case you aren't familiar, is everything you own, which is all of your assets, minus everything you owe, which is all of your liabilities. So let's go through them and I'll kind of explain to you my reasoning here, and we'll talk through each thing because a lot happened this month. So first of all, starting with the assets, our house we had listed at $440,000. It is now zero because we sold it, so it's no longer an asset. So that was a change of negative $440,000. Now, this is not what we actually sold it for. We sold it for more than this, but we also had, you know, the real estate broker commissions and our movers and other closing costs and repairs and things. So there's a bunch of stuff that came out of the sale that I didn't put in our monthly budget. So all that to say, we did sell our house for more than this, but I'm just zeroing out this asset. All right, I decided to keep the student loan savings on my net worth spreadsheet and the student loan just because it exists. And I didn't want it to be confusing when people looked at my channel and was like, I thought you were debt free. Why do you have a debt on your spreadsheet? But I think taking 5 seconds to mention it each time I do a net worth update is really not that big a deal. So I do have these two lines like lined up right here. So you can see student loan savings was zero and now it's 72,000. And then over here in the liabilities, my husband's graduate student loan was 72,400 and now it's 71,700 after making a payment. So it went down by $700. So it's all like in one line. You can see the balance of the student loan savings is higher than the balance of the student loan. So obviously, we could make a payment at any time to pay that off. So that's how I'm handling it. Next, this is also new, house down payment. I'm not sure if all this money is going to go towards a house down payment, but this is the amount of money we had from the sale of our home after we paid for all the closing costs, we paid for the movers, we put everything we needed to in the student loan savings account, and this is everything that was left over. So we're super happy that we do have a good chunk of money to put towards our next house down payment. However, if we do want to put 20% down, this would only cover a $400,000 house, which is just doesn't exist where we live. So yeah, it's sadly not enough for a house down payment unless we move to a different area or just save up more money. Then it'll be a great start. It's certainly a lot of money, more than we've ever had in savings before, but we are just keeping it in a separate high yield savings account separate from the student loan savings, and it's accruing interest as well. So it was $80,000 and then it actually already accrued $100 of interest. So $80,100 in the house down payment savings savings. Some of this amount may end up going to emergency fund because, like I said, I don't want to get into another house until we have enough to put towards a larger emergency fund, like 3 to 6 months of expenses. I just don't want to go buy another house until we're at that point where we have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up, and ideally also enough for 20% down payment. So yeah, we're a little ways away from that, but that's okay. We just got into our apartment like 6 weeks ago. I'm not trying to move right away. So we have some time to figure that out. Savings, which is our emergency fund and sinking funds, went from $9,200 to $14,000. So that was an increase of $4,800. Retirement accounts, finally the stock market had a great month. And I also contributed, like you just saw, $6,500 to my Roth IRA this month. So we did contribute over $7,000 to investing this month. So we started out with $98,300 in retirement, and it increased to $107,900. So that was an increase of $9,600. So we're definitely over that $100,000 invested. If you add up these three, which are all investments, we're at $117,300. So we're safely over that $100,000 mark, which was a goal for a very long time. My brokerage accounts went from $6,200 to $6,400. HSA just stayed at $3,000, even though it's invested. I round this, so it didn't go up enough to round up to the next 100. Got our cars at $17,000, and so no change there. So for total assets, we started out with $573,700, and it decreased because we sold our house, so that asset's gone. Decreased to $300,400. So that was a decrease of $273,300. But going over to the liabilities, we also had a major decrease here because our mortgage was paid off as part of the closing. And so our mortgage was at $294,000 and now is at zero. So that was a change of $294,000. And then, like I showed earlier, my husband's graduate school student loan was at $72,400, and the minimum payment automatically came out of that student loan savings account, and the balance went down to $71,700. So that was a decrease of $700. If we don't make any extra payments, which we are not planning to, there's no more of that. I'm done with that of making the extra payments. I mean, there's all the extra payments we need are in the student loan savings account. So if we don't pay off the balance of the loan, it will just automatically decrease by $700 a month until it is all the way paid off, which obviously, if you look at that balance, it's going to take quite a while, about 8 years if we don't pay the payment. I can tell you with confidence, we will not wait 8 years for this to be paid off. It will get paid off in probably, if I had to guess, I would say like 18 to 24 months. Like in a year and a half to 2 years from now, we will just make a payment and pay off the balance because we'll just be ready to pay it off. But for now, I really like having the cash. I made a video all about it, and there was something really important I forgot in that video, and I was really like kicking myself, but I'll mention it here now that I'm thinking about it. I made a video talking about why we decided to do things this way, and I explained this somewhat, that it's just, you know, if something happens to my husband, it's nice to have that cash, like if he couldn't work anymore. But the other important piece of it is these student loans are just in his name. And so if he died, these loans would disappear. And he is the primary income earner in our home. I am working very part-time, you know, just doing YouTube. And so not only are these loans just in his name, and so if he died, they would disappear, but if we paid off the loans with the balance of that money and he died, then the money would be gone. So if he were to pass away, and this is the estate planning attorney in me that, you know, always will think this way, if he passes away and those loans, you know, are his responsibility, so they don't pass to me upon his death, I get to keep the $72,000 of cash, but his student loans are essentially discharged through his probate estate. So that's another reason it's kind of like extra life insurance to have around in case something were to happen to him, which makes me feel good being the mom of 2 young little girls, having that as like backup life insurance basically. Okay, so total liabilities started out with $366,400 and ended at $71,700. So that was a decrease of $294,700. So total net worth was $207,300 and it jumped up quite a bit this month, $228,700. That was an increase of $21,400. And really that big difference is because our house was undervalued on the spreadsheet before. So yes, the stock market did go up some, and we did make, you know, a payment towards our student loan, so that went down some, but, you know, just overall that bigger bump is because we sold our house for more than we had it valued on the spreadsheet, even after closing costs and everything. So a good month for our net worth. We are solidly in the 200,000 range, which feels really great coming from a negative net worth just like a short time ago. I don't know. It's just crazy that we're in the positives. So happy about that. You can see this year how we're trending. You know, it's been a little flat through the spring, but now it's starting to look up a little bit. And I think June's going to be a pretty good month too. It's definitely going to go up in June. And so, yeah, hopefully just trending towards that 300,000 mark as we go towards the end of the year. So that is it for this month's annual financial goal update and net worth update. Like I said, if you like this net worth spreadsheet, you can get it for free. It'll be linked in the video description, and the annual financial goal spreadsheet you can purchase in my Etsy shop. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.